Alright guys, I want to give you a compliment on your writing because we already wrote one personal opinion essay. And now we're writing an essay with stronger feelings. It's brave work that you're doing because you're not just writing an opinion essay like I think football is so great. That's okay. You think football is great. But now we're writing an essay where we really want to convince somebody of our strong opinions. Some of you use the word persuade, like I want to try to persuade the person to think that everyone should believe that dogs are the best pet in the world. So your words in your essay have to be stronger and more convincing. You know what I mean? If I just said I love ice cream because it's so great and it's lots of flavors, we've already written that essay. We had all these details about it. It was just a wonderful essay as a class, but it wasn't trying to convince you that you should never eat brownies because ice cream are the best. Ice cream's the best dessert. Or cookies. No, ice cream is so much better than cookies. So, as I'm writing the essay with you, I was looking through my writer's notebook last night and I was thinking about my next paragraph because I want to elaborate on that and I wanted to write it and have it ready for you today. So the essay that we're writing together as a class is this one, where we're saying our thesis statement was dogs are the most loyal and caring pets. And you know we generated ideas and we came up with why this was a good essay for me to write because I know a lot about dogs and lots of you have dogs and lots of you have pets, but lots of you have dogs. So last week we worked on the very first paragraph in our essay and we wrote the paragraph and then we worked on word choice and we added some figurative language. We made it so much better. Now today I'm going to ask you to help me with the second paragraph. The second paragraph of our class essay is, here's our detailed sentence, topic sentence. Dogs can be trained to help people. Now, is this maybe the sentence I'm going to keep in my final draft of the essay? No, I might change it a little bit, but just to get me going with my writing, I wanted to start. Put your pencil down. Jack, you too, down. Okay, I wanted to just start off with a thought. So I thought, dogs can be trained to help people, and these are some ways they can do it. They can be watchdogs, they can be service dogs, search and rescue, and companionship. That helps people. I'm going to show you why in a minute. So instead of writing on the index cards like you're doing, I wrote on notebook paper and I skipped lines so you can help me change it around and make it a little better. Okay, so as I was elaborating this paragraph, let me make it small. I want to read it to you. I want to read it to you and then I want to ask you which method I used to elaborate. Because we learned last time we wrote essays that there are 3 ways that in our class we elaborated our paragraphs with our details. Let's be reminded of the 3 ways before we start. One way that writers can elaborate in an essay is to use
research and evidence.
Research and evidence. What's another way writers can elaborate? A narrative or a story. And another way is lists, using lists. So I want you to think as I read this which method that I chose. When you think you have it, do this. Give me a thumbs up. When you think you know the method, don't say it. Don't even tell your partner, just go like this. Right in front of you, a thumbs up. Dogs are the best pet because not only do they have feelings, they can be trained to do jobs that people sometimes do. Dogs can help protect your home or business. They bark when someone comes near. Dogs can work for disabled people and lead the blind or hear for the deaf. Dogs can search through rubble and locate missing people after a disaster strikes. Most of all, dogs offer companionship to people who may otherwise be lonely. I hope you know that dogs can work for you. I hope you know that dogs can protect you. I hope you know that dogs can fill up a lonely heart when no one else can. Dogs are so much more than just a pet.
Yay!
Okay, so I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. And clapping. Thank you. Okay, so if your thumb is up, that means that you have decided which strategy I used to elaborate. Now I want you to turn and tell your partner, and let me see if I can hear you saying the right first use what I did.
I hope you know.
What method did I use?
No,
Okay. So I heard some talking, and I heard this one word just keep coming up and up and up in all your little partner conversations. So overall, what strategy did you think I used? List and data. This is what I call a mix or a hybrid paragraph. I used a little bit of data because remember I told you Mr. Jones is sort of an expert in dogs, and when I said to him, what ways can dogs help people, he gave me some information, so I included that. And also I used lists. Where specifically did I use those lists? Jillian, do this, Jillian.
When you said dog or you said
Right, 2 places. Whenever I said dogs can, I used that repetitive language, kind of listing, and then also I said, I hope you know, I hope you know, I hope you know. So that's a strategy that we learned from a very famous writer named Martin Luther King. And guess what I found in my bookshelf? Last time I showed you the essay from Martin Luther King, I copied it from the internet. Then I remembered I had a whole book on it. So I found the book and I took it home, and I was thinking of how he wrote and how he used lots of strategies for his famous essay, I Have a Dream. But I looked again at the part where he says, let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. What else? What's next? Let freedom ring. Rockies of Colorado. And then he says Stone Mountain from, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. We know this because we looked at it before. But I just love the way he writes and lists, and so I decided to model after him using what's called what do we call it when we copy an author that we love? Craft moves.
Yeah.
So today when you're writing, I want you to elaborate. I want you to elaborate another paragraph in your essay. And you can do this in your writing. Now and all the time when you write essays, you can combine 2 ways. Could I have added lists at the end? I hope you know, but in the beginning add a little narrative story? Yes. So now I want you to bump up the work of an essayist. You're an essayist, you're writing essays, and I don't want you to just say, this paragraph's going to be a narrative, this one's going to be a list, and this one's going to be data. You might not include data in this essay. You might include narrative and list, narrative and list. You need to decide as a writer, because you're writing for that audience to read it, what strategy do I want to use to elaborate? And I'm not going to tell you. Today I want you to use a list. Last time when I taught you to write an essay, I might have said, we're all going to do this work today, but today you need to use your own mind and think, in the essay that I'm writing, what fits better here? Because sometimes you can't force something to fit, it just has to fit. So today when you write, remember that now and always you can add 2 types of strategies to elaborate together, or maybe even more, or maybe 3. Your paragraph, you can break your paragraphs up and do more work in that. So I'm going to give you a lot of time today to work on this, to write. Now I've only written my thesis statement details in 2 paragraphs have been elaborated. Tonight for my homework, I'm going to elaborate another paragraph, and I'm going to be finished with my detailed paragraphs by tonight. So today, when you're going to work on your essays, you're going to work really hard, long and strong writing on elaborating your 2nd detail, or your 3rd. Some of you are on your 3rd. Okay, go. Off you go. Go work. And if you want to use this book as a sample, it's here in the essays on the wall too, the Martin Luther King essay. Your essay is about exercise is really fun activity. So you're really trying to, you feel really strongly that exercise is important.
It's important.
Okay. I almost think your thesis statement, if you said exercise is really important in your everyday life, write that down. See how you went from exercise is a really fun activity to exercise is really important in your everyday life. That's really what you think about exercise. So write that down. Let's take that that sticky note and leave it right there, because later on you might want to revise your thesis statement a little bit to make it stronger. That's much stronger. So your first detail was you can do different activities, you can do it with your friends, and it's fun and it's really good for you. So you've already elaborated. Right, what strategy did you use for elaboration on that one? So you collected data and then you wrote and you included like things from your friends, what they said about exercise. And then you said you were kind of stuck. What?
Yeah, like I don't know what to do for this one. I don't know what to do for the elaboration.
Okay, so first, before you start thinking about ways you can elaborate, you want to come up with some really good details. So you can do different kinds of activities when you exercise. So you already started out with jump rope.
Yeah.
What other type of activities can you do like every day?
You can run.
Okay, what else? Think about every day, because you said, you go back to this, and everything you write has to kind of be held up against this. Exercise is really important in your everyday life. So people will say all the time, like, I don't have time to exercise. Like, I know I say that. Oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time for exercise. Now, your feeling is really strongly that exercise is really important. So
You can just walk.
write that down. See? Okay. Alright, so did you hear how I kind of went and told you something against what you believe? Like, you believe exercise is really important, and I say, no, I don't have time.
Yeah.
You're trying to make me, because I'm the audience, or other people, not in this room, but anybody, to read your essay is going to leave. After I read your essay, I want to feel like I'm going to exercise today, because it's so important. And it can be fun, and there's different ways I can do it. Can I go for a walk? Yes, I can go for a walk. So now, what way do you think is going to be the best way to elaborate this essay paragraph?
Maybe a list.
Okay, you can make a list. So maybe you could even combine two. Have you ever thought of that?
I really haven't. No.
Okay, so just like I did today with the class essay, I wonder if you could start out with like a story of something really fun that you did exercising, or some way that you made exercise easy to fit in your life, and then you could include that list of different activities, because your point, your objective in writing this is to make sure that the reader leaves, after reading your essay, feels like
They can do
exercise is really important in your everyday life. You can always go back to that thesis statement, and that's going to back up everything you write goes back to this point. So are you ready to try that? Okay, go try it and show me what you work on. Good job.